Hi, I'm Joshua Hayward, and thanks for joining me in this video. And this edition on the channel here is an update, but very much a departure from the usual astrological update of straight from the source. This is going to be a commentary or perspective on the Colorado Massacre, the shootings that happened at the movie theater in Aurora, Colorado. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the astrology that surrounds this deeply tragic event that affects so many people. We're just moving out of the Uranus station, and that was stationing on near exact square to the planet Pluto. And that station happened in the 4th house of the United States, the house of the family, the house of the home, the house of feeling deeply, the house of where we connect ourselves to the planet as a group or as a nation. So Uranus is the planet of intense change, and it tends to shake things up and create a change that awakens us, so we can move on to our next part, the next part of our paths, and become more conscious. So this was pretty intense as that stationed, and that does wake us up on a family level. As individuals within families, we feel unsettled in our home, we feel hopelessness, we feel uncertain, we feel a lot of uncertainty around our lives when this kind of thing happens. Okay, another thing that was happening astrologically was the Saturn return of the United States. Saturn stationed on the 25th of June, the day after the exact Pluto-Uranus square, the first of 7. So we're moving out of that Saturn station, and that's in the house of the government and business and status quo. At the top of the chart, the 10th house, which is opposite the 4th house. So Saturn is on a square to the Mercury of the United States as this event occurs, and so I want to also address that. So first of all, before I start getting more into the astrological stuff, I just wanted to lay out those as some basic things that are happening. I want to say that my last video was called Revolution, and I want to continue that idea of revolution right now. We're feeling it in our roots, we're feeling it in our families, we're feeling it at home, and people are wondering, is it safe to go to movie theaters? Is it safe to go do other things? Well, I want to say in terms of revolution that I don't buy this whole concept of this guy just happened to have, or in planning and buying these guns and AK, Kevlar, all the accoutrements that he bought, the bombs. I think that this somehow, and he's not the only one, and you certainly can agree or disagree with me around this, but hopefully you'll consider it as food for thought. I think we need to look at the fact that, or the very strong possibility that this young man was mind controlled in some way. It could be through genetic manipulation. It could be very likely through drugs. And I think that there are so many others, possibly the person who shot Gabrielle Giffords, and so many other assassinations and crazy things that happen that disturb our normal train of thought going through our days, our lives. All of a sudden, this kind of thing truncates our lives with these very upsetting emotions and psychological imprints of fear. I think that on some level, government or something behind the government or wherever, some kind of black op kind of situation, and these people are controlled, and they do crazy things that upset people tremendously. And I think they're timed events that are here to make us be very upset about things and look to the government to try to fix things. That also to feel a sense of helplessness, hopelessness. And when we're feeling that way, we can be controlled. So this is these individuals get controlled through some sort of drug or whatever process. And believe me, this is easily done with the technological things and the drugs that are available these days. It's not even difficult to do. That's just a fact. And this happened like right after that Uranus station on that square from the house of the home. Think about it. Problem, reaction, response, resolution. If you can look at some of the stuff that David Icke has to offer, the guy who's the so-called conspiracy theorist, he talks about that. I've actually come up with that theory myself. Problem, reaction, reaction, response, resolution. It just goes in a vicious circle around and around and around. And it's the predominant paradigm that we work from as we move from the age of Pisces. That's the predominant paradigm for us dealing with society, dealing with the structure, dealing with issues. We're moving into a different paradigm, but when these kind of things are happening, it so much sucks us into, energetically, psychologically, emotionally, sucks us back into the old paradigm. So I really feel that there's no support whatsoever for what the 9/11 Commission came up with as the story for what happened in 9/11, September 11th, 2001. I think that undoubtedly the government was either in on or had some major cover-up of what happened with those events, and that event as a terrorist event that was staged. They moved in with the Patriot Act and Homeland Security. They established and controlled our lives. I think that these smaller situations are staged terrorist-like events that are supposed to distract us and pull down our energy and consciousness to lower frequencies so we can't move to the higher frequencies and change to move into the new paradigm, which is what? It's creativity. I am causal, you are causal, we have source energy moving through us. We're not reacting or responding so much to externalized circumstances, and we're not reacting to our wounding imprints, but we're saying, this is what I want to create. We're moving into creating and knowing, Age of Aquarius, knowing that we're creators, moving into that type of energy. So my advice, or what I would say from this, what I would call sane perspective, whether you think it's true or not, we are moving into the new paradigm, and I would advise and counsel, from what I consider to be a sane perspective, to accept and acknowledge these type of events, but not let them take us down and pull us off of our paths. Let us transform and transmute that energy by accepting that stuff and moving on with what we're going to create, not based upon anything from the past, but where we're at and what we truly desire from our true self right in that moment. And yes, this is about revolution. It's a revolution in consciousness, but we need to see these type of things for what they are. And I'm saying that don't believe what you're seeing here, and don't get caught up in it, and don't delve too deeply. See what's happening and move on, move into your own frequency and own that. The other thing that's going on that shows that that what I'm saying is likely to be true is Saturn on a square to our 8th house Mercury in Cancer in the 8th house of the United States. The 8th house is the house of hidden things, and Mercury has to do with information and communication. This is a country that keeps a lot of secrets. It's also the house of manipulation and control and power, things like that. Hiding things, manipulating, and controlling are de rigueur for the shadow government and the government itself running this country. And Saturn is crystallizing examples of exactly what I'm talking about. This, as it comes, this tragedy that happens when it does happen with Saturn square Mercury, it's showing from the house of government to the house of power and control. It's crystallizing a powerful example of how we're being lied to, how we're being manipulated and controlled. So once again, it's a class warfare too. You know, we're looking at being slaves. We're looking at being controlled by those people who really have the money and the power. And so what I'm saying here is just revealing it. I don't want you to get all angry about all that stuff. I'm not here to incite any violence or anything like that. I'm presenting the opportunity for a revolution in consciousness, and for us to put our energy where we need to go in our lives. And once again, I'm very sympathetic to the families and the individuals, those people who are suffering around this, and my heart goes out to you, Colorado, and to everyone there. But we have an opportunity to transform these energies and to grow. And so let's take it and let's love ourselves. And it's not just about sending love to the families. Let's be compassionate to ourselves, that we have to go through these times with these amazingly grief-stricken times where we seem to be losing quality of life. If we take our energy of attention away from these things and put them not, beyond the mind, just into the heart, into the moment, and be there, then we can be in joy, even in that moment, beyond the stories that we're living, beyond the stories that we're experiencing in the moment, without the mind, without the ego mind, in the heart. There we can find joy, we can find peace, we can find transcendence, and we can create a better world, one person at a time. This is Joshua Hayward saying, Namaste. Be well.